I'm actually, how long have I got? Just 5 minutes. 5 minutes, okay. Well, I've got going to take much longer than that, so 5 minutes just stop me. Okay, we've got the annual meeting coming up in about two weeks' time, so I'm going to cover a few things just to give you an idea of a quick update in terms of what were the results from last year, and also just a very brief update in terms of how we're paying the bills this year. So if I just go to very quickly, just summarising the main statements. Now I've put some statements out on the tables. There's about 1 between 2, and I've got a few extra here. I'm not going to go through the whole lot because that's going to take the 4 minutes I've got left. Anyway, so we've put up lunch fees a little bit over the last year or so, so we're basically trying to break even and earn a little bit more. So that's what we did in 2013. We're trying to get a little bit more in 2014, just so that we've got visitors, we're covered. Levies, you'll see that we actually make a slight loss on levies, and we've put that up a little bit this year also, so that we break even, aim to break even at that level. We haven't made a charge, an extra charge in that area for some time. I'm just going to move quite quickly. So then if I just talk about club operations, these are the business of the club, excluding raising money and making grants and donations. So in terms of revenue, we have the subscriptions, some other bits and pieces, a little bit of money from interest. Website income last year was relatively small because we made a big billing the year before that, and then we're sort of catching up again this year. So it's our ongoing sort of level of website income is around about $8,000. And then on the expenditure side, you'll see that we made a slight loss in 2013. So we're aiming to at least break even at that level. And you'll see that we have improved significantly over the previous year, which was quite high expenditure, which was the last year with Marion. And we sort of had some double up of costs. We also had Noel doing the financials, and we've now flying solo on Zero, and Rebecca is doing some of the grant work with that. So the sort of extra subs that we've just put through will enable us to break even. But those are the sort of the general expenses that we have in the club. Website and depreciation is mainly website, so we do need that sort of 8,000 to 10,000, and certainly appreciate the sponsors who buy advertising for the website. That helps pay for that absolute critical feature and asset of the club. So then moving to so then actual profit and loss for the club. I add to that the sort of the grants and the payments out, and you'll see quite a large negative there. I mean, we almost break even at sort of operations level, and we will do in 2014. I would expect to be very close to it. So then it comes down to matching the money raised with the expenditure out. And over the last couple of years, or last 3 to 5 years, we've probably generated quite a lot, and we hadn't sort of matched that with the outgoing. So we had quite a catch up, as you'll see in a moment, in 2013. So that's why we're actually showing a loss. But I'll be talking a bit more about that at the annual sort of meeting. Fellowship fundraising events. The fellowship is aimed to pretty much break even, although except for I guess the president's function, and I think the previous year we had the income from Sheffield the year dinner of the previous year. That's why that's showing a deficit there. And then going to fundraising. Main fundraising event obviously was Jumbo Tennis. We're certainly generating less, that's one of the points I wanted to make, than we did a couple of years ago when we made a number of commitments in terms of grants going forward. And largely that's because, if I go to the next slide, we have Eureka and the Forum as major events for the club. Now, Eureka, is a big event, and that's the first one. And we've eliminated the sort of the payments for the next one. So the club we've now sort of moved Eureka off into its separate trust. It's no longer part of the club from a financial point of view. So we don't pick up any surplus or otherwise for Eureka. Rotary Forum, we're still looking at that sort of the loss for last year. That's last year's one. I'm assured that it did break even, so we're just trying to, we may not have actually invoiced Wellington City Council for everything that we were supposed to. My clock has stopped. So. And then going on to, so those are the donations that we made in 2013, and you know, it adds up to a large amount. And we also committed with Tiara Medical, we made a commitment of 12,000. We paid that in the early part of this Rotary year. So the big one there is the PNG dental project, which has been very successful, and the school migrants payment that we or underwriting that we made. 2 minutes?
Yep.
Yeah. So I might just skip to the very last slide. Just to say, in terms of we work hand in glove with the trust. So I thought I'd just give you 1 minute on the trust. In terms of the trust is now made up of three funds. There's the general trust funds that's come from Rotary, which is the figure in the middle, and I've divided it between sort of equity that we're trying to maintain in real terms for the future. And then capital income is the income that's generated over the last couple of years. And so we've got general trust funds, and Bernie Knowles' bequest is not part of the equity of the trust. It's actually was actually given to the club, and the club basically lends it to the trust to invest on our behalf, because they're all set up. Macquarie Bank does the investments for the trust. And then the Salmon Trust is related to that, and that's money that just came in the last year and a half. So overall, there's $1 million in funds for invested for the overall trust. So it's large, and then committed by the trustees of the trust, coming across in terms of availability to the club for making grants, but the grants will be made through the trust. And I'll have a future session just to explain how the two work together. I should point out the 29,000 is actually 26,000 that's been paid, and then there's a commitment that the club will put up proposals for the trustees, and they've agreed that amount of money, and then we'll make those payments directly to the charities that we agree. And that will largely take up the commitments that we've got to Wellington Free Ambulance, to the Mulligan in terms of a PhD, or a PhD for 3 years, and the actual expenditure that we made in 2013 was short funding. That's all I've got time for. So it's a very, very quick update, but I will be doing another one within the next 2 or 3 months.